All right, everyone, it's time for a Vermont news story here. I know most of you aren't Vermonters, but, it still bears mentioning because when things like this happen that are, one part funny and one part cringe fringe leftoidism, it's always a good day. There's a gun shop in Rutland that I've gone to, highly recommended, great place. It's a really cute dog, by the way. It's a German Shepherd. It looks exactly like dog meat. Well, it's every German Shepherd mostly, but is friendly, and you can buy guns and shit there, and it's called Kragen's. And there's a link in the description. Archived, of course. I'll go through a little bit of this because it's hilarious. Let me pull up the actual tweet itself really quickly. I'll read it verbatim for you so there's no problems with interpretation. This is Ethan Weinstein, AA_Weinstein on Twitter. Had to stop and shoot a photo of this gun sign, huge and plain, childish, Rutland, Vermont. And this is Kragen's. Of course, Kragen's has above the door a big, it looks like a Glock, a handgun, which says Kragen's on it, above the door. And I'm thinking to myself, first and foremost, you're an assistant editor to a central and southern Vermont newspaper, the Mountain Times. So is the Mountain Times aware of the fact that you're insulting a local business which is within the scope of the area that they mainly cater to? Because that's just for branding purposes, let alone ideological purposes, is a bad idea. When I pointed this out, within 5 minutes he deleted the tweet, and I'm thinking to myself, I've got an archive of it. Well, that's not going to work now, Ethan, is it? So, hopefully the Mountain Times becomes aware of this particular instance. Because, again, pissing off, especially in Rutland. Think about Rutland. It's basically the swing state district of Vermont. Northeast Kingdom is the only red area, and I think Lamoille County. There are two counties that go red. The Northeast Kingdom, which is very small, sparsely populated, Rubish, you could say, is the only part of the state that's still Republican. Rutland is 50-50. The Rutland area, the city itself, a bit tilt towards Democrats. Everything else around it tilts more towards the Republicans. For partisan purposes, you're trying to present this newspaper as local and regional. Small newspapers, small audience. You're trying to cater to these people. Why would pissing off a significant proportion of the people within an area by having your assistant editor put this kind of thing out there, why would that be good? There's a reason why it was immediately deleted. But archives are forever, Ethan, so people can peruse that. Maybe they can email the Mountain Times if they're within Vermont and they find that slightly offensive. And keep in mind the context. We're in an era right now where small businesses have been goddamn hammered. One of the first casualties is right down the road from where I live in Rutland, which is Thomas's Dairy. So now, when I'm in Rutland, what the fuck milk am I supposed to drink? I'm not going to drink Hood. I'm not going to drink something that's not locally. I guess I'll have to go to one of the farms in the area and say, hey, I know it's illegal, supposedly, but, do you have any unpasteurized milk or some shit? Because, got to eat your cereal with something. I'm just joking. I'm sure they can pasteurize it for you. Probably do it myself. I'd probably figure out how to rig up a system for that. Pasteurize your own milk from the raw materials. It is funny that the FDA can keep people from ingesting something that, generally speaking, is not a particular health issue. I guess they're worried about cowpox or something like that. And I'm thinking to myself how funny that is. Maybe they're worried when they reintroduce smallpox from the Bethesda lab in the population, they want to make sure that nobody has cowpox resistance. Anyway, that goes beyond the scope of this video. We've seen this before, where people that are working for some of these legacy media conglomerates, and if there's newsprint involved or it's cable involved or radio, it's legacy media. So the Mountain Times is propagandistic legacy media. I remember reading it occasionally, some time ago when I was, younger, I think. It's all right, but, you can't have a person working for you, an assistant editor. It's not the janitor. Who cares about that? He's an assistant editor and responsible for some of the content there. You can't have him pissing off large numbers of people. Kragen's is a respected local dealer, goes by the law, conducts his background checks and everything. What the fuck is wrong with his sign? It's a gun shop. This is like saying it would be childish and tacky if you had a dairy and you had a picture of a cow up above above your door. This is like saying, hey, this is Hex Hammer Incorporated. It's where we produce all of the clanks for the world supply. So naturally, I've got a spoon or the Ouroboros logo above the door of Hex Hammer Incorporated. Well, yeah, you might think it's childish, but it sort of makes sense. You know, you can see that gun all the way down the street. Well, then you know, hey, that's where I can probably get myself a rifle. I could probably get a shotgun there. If you can find any stock. You know, the inventory was a little thin when I was in there the last time. The first time I go there, it's like, you know, there's fucking guns everywhere on the counter. They had to space them out very carefully to make it look less sparse when I went there the last time. About the only thing they had a lot of were like the 50 cal hunting rifles. There's basically the sum and substance. There was actually one good AR there, and I considered getting it. It wasn't an AR-15, it was some sort of other variant. I considered it, but then I said, well, you know, I'd rather get another revolver because I'm more of a revolver guy. Even Biden doesn't want to take your revolvers. Dude, I'd rather, in a fight, I'd probably rather have my HR Sportsman, and that's chambered fucking 22 anyway, just because it's so accurate at intermediate range. That thing's fucking great. Carries 9 bullets. That's pushing it according to Biden. Hey man, why does your revolver have to have more than 6 rounds? I used to watch cowboy movies. They could sit there and shoot all day without reloading on those 6 bullets. I can just imagine Biden zoning out like a vegetable watching spaghetti westerns. Anyway, so yeah. There's a little bit of a Vermont story for all of the New Englanders out there that want to have a cheap chuckle at this dude's possible career demise. Probably Mountain Time should be contacted, but only by people within the region, because it's a Southern Vermont newspaper. It's like if WCAX fucks up, it's really nobody. Someone in Iowa, it doesn't really matter what they consider about it. But I do know there is a disproportionate Northern New England audience on the channel, because I'm, you know, the second most well-known Vermonter after Bernie Sanders, who's still above ground. Ethan Allen, John Deere. John Deere, does he even count? He was from Rutland initially. Left Vermont, I believe, for economic reasons and went to Illinois to make his famous tractors and lawnmowers and shit. Very interesting. That's about all. Peace out.